Welcome to Ray and Joe's channel. Remember, if you like what you see, subscribe.
And we're going to take you on a cruise on the Pacific Jewel in 2017.
Our cruise started off in Auckland, so we had to fly there from where we live in Dunedin. And before you knew it, we were on the ship with a room with an unforgettable number.
We were on early, so we got to watch everyone else embark.
Then before you know it, it was time for an unforgettable sail away. And no one does it better than P&O.
There's nothing better than sitting on your balcony and watching the ocean go by.
After checking out the ship, we went back to our room to watch our first sunset at sea for the cruise.
And the next morning we had a beautiful breakfast on the balcony. Nothing beats a breakfast for P&O.
To fill our days in, there's all sorts of things, because the first 3 days we had were at sea. So there was all sorts of things to do and see, eat and drink.
Beautiful Leamingtons with our tea and coffee. Yummy.
And just for a change, we had a bit of dessert with something a wee bit extra than spicy.
And more from the buffet.
There's a bit of everything at the buffet, and we love our buffet.
Fish and chips, my fave.
At nights, there's plenty of entertainment on all around the ship, but there's great stuff always happening in the theatre of the Marquee.
And another lovely sunset. Beautiful.
Also, it's time to have maybe a couple of drinks. Maybe even a few more than a couple of drinks.
We always walk the stairs on the ship so we can have an extra bit of cake, but they have lovely paintings on each of the floors of the stairs.
A couple more days sailing, and we said Nisa Bulavanaka to Suva in Fiji. First thing we did was we hopped in a taxi and we went and checked out an old army barracks of mine where I was based back in the 70s. Nothing really had changed.
On this day, unfortunately, everything was closed, but there was one market that was open, which was good.
So we had a good look around Suva, walking. We got really hot and bothered, but checked everything out, especially this lovely fresh fruit market. And then we decided we would hop back on board and have a beautiful lunch in our favourite spot, the aft deck. Then after an overnight sail, we ended up in the Fiji island of Port Denio.
Through the ship's tours, we booked a helicopter ride. Yay! I love this helicopter ride, it's so cool.
All too soon, we were back on Mother Earth, but we still had more to do. So we hopped back in the van and headed on a bit of a tour to a resort that we can't remember the name of. But it was a lot of fun. And there we had a swim, something to eat, a bit of drink, before we headed into Nandi Town.
Back on board, we seen another beautiful sunset, and the next morning we seen our favourite island, Dravuni. Yay!
To get to Dravuni, you've got to use one of the tenders. It's certainly worth the 5-minute trip across. In fact, we found everything about Dravuni what you'd expect from a tropical island. Now, we took some stuff along for the kids and gave a few gifts out to the school and to the people we met because they'd just experienced a cyclone. They were neat people there.
And we went for a lovely walk. They've got some beautiful trees and scenery. I love this island. It was one of my favourites. On an island that doesn't have any electricity, Ray was able to find a frozen ice cream. Yummy!
Back on the tender, and we headed back to our ship, the Jewel, where we said a sad goodbye to Dravuni. And after another overnight sail, we ended up in the beautiful northern port in Fiji of Savu. Magical place, where we met up with the most friendliest cab driver who took us to a place where the locals go, not the tourists.
Yes.
It's ever green, every time green. It's raining here every time.
Yeah.
It's very nice place.
Yeah.
And the people are so nice here. Like if you go to Suba, people you can be robbed. Here no.
Lovely.
Very friendly people here. Last time I did one job for one tourist. Just like this, they were mother and the daughter.
And after a beautiful day at the beach, we went back to port and found a lovely place for lunch. And then after that was back to the ship.
We had 2 more days at sea before we headed into Tonga, so there was lots to do and lots of fun. And then we said Maloelele to Vavao. Once again, it was a tender that took us there.
And the next morning we were in the capital of Tonga.
Nuku Alofa, where we were greeted by this.
This is what you do. Oh, dance, dance, dance to my dance guitar.
Then we got off the ship and we checked out the capital, walked around, did a bit of shopping, seen the markets. Lovely place.
But the highlight was catching up with family, seeing my cousin's wife and his 2 daughters, which was really nice because I'd never met them before. Then before you know it, the day was over in Nuku'alofa, and we hopped back on to listen to this.
And then we had 2 days on the ship, and the best thing about being at sea is this.
The good thing about being on a cruise is you can do absolutely nothing, or you can be as busy as you like. Believe me, when it's busy, it's fun.
And then we say bonjour to the Isle of Pines in New Caledonia.
We've been to the Isle of Pines several times, and it never ceases to amaze us, except for once when it rained the whole time we were there.
There's beautiful white beaches here at this place. It was beautiful swimming.
Now, I failed the 3rd form French and thought I was being quite smart when I asked and ordered a ham sandwich and fries. Instead, we ended up with a couple of these each.
We made the most of every minute on this island, and we were the last tender back on board.
Then for the next 3 days, it was cruising all the way back to Aotearoa, New Zealand. We had a lot of fun.
We caught up with some new friends.
Sadly put our bags out, getting ready to leave, and met up with some old friends. And before you knew it, we were back in Auckland and heading home. This is one of the many times we've seen this site on this trip, so we'll leave it with you. And we hope you enjoyed our video.
Yes, thank you for watching.
And we'll see you next time when we take you on another cruise, because it was only a couple of months later we went on another one.
Yes, we love cruising.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
No, bye-bye.
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 Bye. Green dot. Oh, did they say green dot? I seen that.